Hello, orchid lovers. It is a pleasure to welcome you back to my little garden, where each orchid pot is cared for with all the love and patience. Today, I will share with you how to restore weak orchids, those that have just been exhausted after flowering, so that they can regain their vitality, grow healthy, and be ready for a new blooming season. You can see that the orchid in front of me is showing signs of wilting, with many small yellow spots on the leaves left by sucking insects. If not treated promptly, the plant can easily become exhausted and die. So, let's take each step together to help the plant revive. The first step, and also the most important step, you need to carefully check the root system and the growing environment of the plant. Because the root system is the heart of the orchid, if the roots are damaged, waterlogged, or blocked, no matter how much you fertilize or water, the plant cannot recover. Through observation, I noticed that the root system of the tree was quite damaged. The reason was that the growing medium was compressed too tightly for a long time, causing the roots to no longer be ventilated. Therefore, I will proceed to remove all the old growing medium, helping the root system to be more ventilated. At the same time, easily observing the overall condition of the roots to come up with the most appropriate treatment measures. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons to support me, and don't miss any useful orchid care tips. I'm happy to accompany you on the journey of nurturing and conquering the beauty of orchid pots. Next, we will cut off all the damaged or dead roots. This not only helps the plant eliminate pathogens and potential risks that can spread to healthy roots, but also helps the plant save nutrients, focusing on nurturing new young roots. When the root system is clean and airy, the plant will easily recover quickly and soon regain strong vitality. Dried flower stalks should also be completely removed. This helps the plant concentrate its nutrients on the healthy parts, especially the roots and new shoots. After pruning, we will clean the entire tree thoroughly with clean water. This step helps remove dirt, salt residue, as well as pathogens that remain on the trunk and roots. A thorough cleaning will help the tree absorb nutrients better in the next recovery steps. After cleaning the plant with clean water, we will use a soft and clean towel to dry all the remaining water droplets on the orchid stem and leaves, avoiding prolonged wetness, because a humid environment is a favorable condition for mold and bacteria to attack. This action also helps the leaves to be more airy, thereby absorbing nutrients better in the next steps of recovery care. To prepare the disinfectant solution, I use 1 liter of clean water. The ingredient I use is baking soda, a safe, easy-to-find substance that is very effective in repelling insects and mold. I will add 1 teaspoon of baking soda to 1 liter of clean water, then stir well until completely dissolved. This ratio is enough to lightly disinfect, prevent fungal diseases while still being absolutely safe for orchids. After stirring, I will let the solution rest for about 15 minutes before using it. After about 15 minutes, the solution has completely dissolved and become more stable. Now we can use it. I will soak the entire orchid in the solution, making sure the roots are completely submerged in water. Soaking for about 30 minutes is enough to remove bacteria, mold, and insect eggs on the roots, while also helping the plant to be cleaner and safer before entering the recovery phase. The first ingredient I use to create organic fertilizer for orchids is coffee. Coffee contains many organic substances, amino acids, and trace minerals that are very good for the process of stimulating roots and restoring orchids after a period of weakness. I put 1 teaspoon of coffee in a clean jar. Then, add about 500 milliliters of hot water. High temperature helps dissolve the nutrients in the coffee faster and more thoroughly, especially amino acids, trace minerals, and natural essential oils, ingredients that are very beneficial for the growth of orchids. In addition, hot water also helps neutralize part of the natural sour taste of coffee, making the solution after brewing smoother and safer for young roots. Once stirred well, I will close the lid of the jar and let it steep for about 1 hour before using. After soaking the orchid in the disinfectant solution for about 30 minutes, we will gently take the plant out. At this point, the orchid has been completely cleaned, removing most of the bacteria, mold, and insects that are still clinging to the roots. Next, I will place the plant in a cool, airy place and avoid direct sunlight. Let the plant rest and recover naturally before taking care of it with fertilizer. The next ingredient in today's organic fertilizer recipe is Malabar spinach. Do you have Malabar spinach? Here, I use a medium-sized Malabar spinach plant. Next, I will pick the Malabar spinach leaves and put them in a mortar. Malabar spinach contains many nutrients that are beneficial for orchids, especially natural nitrogen, calcium, iron, and vitamin C, which help increase the plant's resistance, stimulate thicker and shinier green leaves, and at the same time support the formation of young roots very effectively. Next, I will use a pestle to crush the Malabar spinach leaves. Pounding helps break down the leaf structure, thereby releasing the natural nutrients more easily. After crushing, I will put all the Malabar spinach in a clean jar. Then add about 500 milliliters of clean water. Next, stir the solution well so that the nutrients in the Malabar spinach dissolve better, and let it rest for about 15 minutes before using. After 1 hour of incubation, the nutrients in the coffee have completely dissolved into the water, creating a very good natural source of nutrition for orchids. At this time, we will filter out the residue to obtain a clear solution, helping the plant absorb more easily and avoid the residue causing mold when watering the roots or substrate. After 15 minutes of incubation, the nutrients in the Malabar spinach have been completely extracted into the water. I will filter the Malabar spinach water with the coffee water. This combination helps increase the natural nutritional content, with minerals and amino acids from coffee, as well as vegetable protein and vitamins from Malabar spinach, creating a safe, easily absorbed, and extremely effective organic fertilizer for orchids. After stirring the solution well, I will let the mixture rest for about 15 minutes before using. After 15 minutes, the nutrients in the coffee and spinach have completely blended together, creating a stable, easily absorbed, and safe source of organic fertilizer for orchids. Next, I will pour a portion of this solution into a clean cup. Then gently place the orchid leaves into the solution and soak for about 30 minutes. This step helps the leaves directly absorb natural nutrients, increase their ability to recover, become thick, green, and shiny. After 30 minutes of soaking, we will gently lift the orchid out of the solution. At this time, the orchid leaves have had time to absorb some of the necessary nutrients, helping to increase resistance and restore leaf tissue. This is a very important step to prepare for the replanting stage in the new substrate, helping the plant adapt faster, develop strong roots, and recover soon after a period of weakness. Next, I will place the entire root of the orchid in a clean cup. Then pour in the nutrient solution until it is completely submerged. We will continue to soak for about 30 minutes so that the roots can deeply absorb the natural nutrients in the coffee and spinach mixture. I will use the remaining baking soda solution to disinfect the pine bark substrate before planting. I pour the solution in until it covers the entire pine bark, then soak it for about 1 hour. This step helps to completely remove bacteria, mold, and insects that are still on the substrate, and at the same time makes the pine bark cleaner and safer when replanting the orchid. After 30 minutes of soaking in the nutrient solution, we will gently lift the orchid roots out. At this time, the roots have had time to absorb some of the necessary nutrients, helping the root tissues to gradually recover after a period of weakness. You can see the small air holes on the root tips begin to open, which is a sign that the roots are waking up and ready to absorb oxygen and nutrients. At the same time, the roots become softer and more flexible, signaling that the plant is ready to enter the new planting and strong recovery phase. Before putting the orchid back into the substrate, I will apply cinnamon powder to the cuts and wounds on the plant. Cinnamon powder is a natural ingredient with very good antibacterial and antifungal properties, helping to prevent infection and root rot after pruning. In addition, it also helps the wound dry faster, creating favorable conditions for new roots to grow healthily when the plant is replanted in the new substrate. After applying cinnamon powder, I will place the orchid in a cool, dry place to rest for about 1 hour. After 1 hour, the plant's cell tissue stabilizes, ready for planting in a new substrate. I will plant the orchid in a pot with many ventilation and drainage holes, allowing air to circulate easily around the roots, avoiding water stagnation that causes root rot. And after about 1 hour of soaking, the pine bark has been sterilized and is safe for the orchid. Now, I will lift all the pine bark out and use it as a growing medium for the orchid. First, I will spread a layer of small foam pieces on the bottom of the pot to make a base. This foam layer has the effect of increasing ventilation and drainage capacity for the substrate. Here, I used an additional small iron rod and clamped one end tightly to the edge of the pot to support the plant. Then, I gently placed the orchid in the middle of the pot, adjusting so that the stem and roots were balanced. Next, I used a small clamp to fix the orchid stem to the other end of the iron rod, helping the plant stand firmly and not shake during the rooting process, because if the plant is moved in the early stages, the young roots will have difficulty developing stably. Next, I will evenly insert the pine bark substrate around the orchid's roots. When adding the substrate, you should do it gently. Avoid compressing it too tightly so that the roots have enough air and necessary ventilation. The even distribution of pine bark helps the plant stand firmly, while also creating conditions for young roots to easily develop and firmly adhere to the new substrate. Finally, I will add a thin layer of moss on top of the substrate. This layer of moss helps to keep the orchid roots moist, helping the growing environment maintain a stable humidity while still being airy and not being waterlogged. After planting, I will water the nutrient solution from coffee and spinach directly onto the roots and the entire growing medium of the orchid. This step helps to immediately provide a natural source of nutrients, helping the roots to recover quickly and stimulate the growth of young roots. At the same time, the solution also helps increase the plant's resistance, limiting fungal diseases in the early stages of planting. Here, I recycled a large plastic can and punched small ventilation holes around it to cover the entire orchid pot. This is a very effective measure to help the plant avoid insect attacks, and also helps the orchid quickly adapt to the new environment after being replanted. During this period, we will place the plant in a well-ventilated place with gentle light so that the plant can gradually recover and grow. I will use the remaining nutrient solution to care for the other orchid pots in the garden. I use a soft cotton pad, soak it in the nutrient solution from coffee and spinach, then gently wipe it on both sides of the orchid leaves. This step helps the leaves directly absorb the necessary nutrients, especially minerals and trace elements that are beneficial for cell regeneration and chlorophyll restoration. Cleaning the leaf surface also helps remove dirt and mold that has accumulated over time, making the stomata on the leaves more airy, thereby increasing the ability of photosynthesis and gas exchange. Another very effective way is to water this nutrient solution directly into the roots and growing medium of the orchid. When watered directly, the natural nutrients from coffee and spinach will penetrate deep into the growing medium, helping the roots absorb faster and stimulate the formation of young roots. Then we put the tree back in the garden, in a well-ventilated place with soft light so that the tree can continue to grow. After about 4 weeks, I will remove the plastic cover to check the orchid's growth. As you can see, the orchid leaves are now less wrinkled, gradually becoming more shiny and healthy. Signs of insect attacks or yellow leaves no longer appear. This shows that the plant has recovered very well, effectively absorbed nutrients, and is gradually regaining its strong vitality. The orchid has grown a lot of new roots. This is a sign that the plant is recovering strongly and growing steadily. New roots play an extremely important role in the growth process of orchids. They help the plant absorb water and essential nutrients from the substrate, nourishing the entire stem, leaves, and young shoots. At this stage, I continue to mix organic fertilizer from coffee and spinach to care for the orchid. I pour nutrients into a clean spray bottle, then spray evenly on the entire orchid. The even spraying helps the nutrients penetrate quickly through the leaves and roots, providing the energy and minerals necessary for the growth process. You should use this nutrient solution to care for the entire orchid garden about once every 2 weeks. Regular supplementation like this will help all orchid pots grow evenly, with strong roots, green leaves, and the plants are always full of vitality. On normal days, you only need to spray a mist of clean water to moisturize about once every 2 days, helping to maintain stable humidity. Next, I will water the nutrient solution directly into the roots and substrate. This step helps the orchid roots absorb the necessary nutrients more deeply, while stimulating the young roots to grow strongly and adhere tightly to the substrate. The best time to care for orchids is early morning or late afternoon. This is when the temperature and light are both at a comfortable level, helping the plant absorb nutrients best without heat shock or leaf burn. Then, we put the orchid back in the garden. Choose a cool and light place for the plant to continue to grow. The airy environment helps the roots to breathe better, and the light will stimulate the photosynthesis process, helping the plant grow steadily and gradually become healthier. And this is the result after 3 months of persistent care. From being wrinkled, dull, and weak, the leaves have now become dark green, shiny, and much thicker. When you touch them, you can feel the hardness and vitality inside each leaf fiber. That is a sign that the tree has absorbed enough nutrients and is growing steadily. The lush green color spreading from the base to the tip not only shows the health of the tree, but is also a worthy result of the meticulous and dedicated care process. More and more plump white roots grow from the base of the orchid, stretching and spreading across the surface of the substrate. The shiny green root tips show that the plant is in a strong growth stage and is absorbing nutrients very well. Such a healthy root system not only helps the plant cling firmly to the substrate, but is also a clear sign of a fully revived orchid. Each new root tip is proof of proper and persistent care over the past time. Finally, always give love and care to your green companions. Treat your orchids with all your heart, and you will be rewarded with the radiant, pure beauty they bring. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to leave a comment to share your feelings. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos. Wishing you much luck and success on your journey of caring for your beloved orchids.